Hi and welcome to today's session. I cannot wait to take you through the closer psychology. You're starting to get into the real meat and bones of really what's going to be an absolute game changer for you. Over many, many years, we've had so many people, so many clients say how much this has changed their life. And so there really isn't an understanding like this anywhere else in the planet. I've taken everyone's programs, I've done deep dives into really what works and what doesn't, and I'm really excited to take you through this. Now again, we are 100% on the sales process, on the consultation call, but this is really going to set up the right level of thinking to get you in the right headspace. And it is a massive headspace thing, because as you start to get better, even if you have a good closing rate of 50%, you're still speaking to 10, say you're doing 20 calls per month, that's 4 calls per day, which is a low amount. If you're not closing 10 people per month, that's still 10 negative conversations. And negative, unfortunately, is 3 times more powerful than positive. So this is why you need consistent training in this area. This is why we train our team every single day, so they don't get caught in what we call negative buying cycles. All right. If you have a couple of bad calls, then you start to distrust yourself, you start to question, you start to undercharge, and you start to change the script, and you start to change the process, and the whole thing kind of gives up really quickly. So again, this is really important, why you've got to get the right training around this. This is really important to get the right feedback on your consultation call, because the right feedback at the right time can shift your consultation sales to a massive level. It's not uncommon for us at an advanced level to increase your consultation calls to 80% closing rate. Again, depending if you're front end, depending again on where you're at already. But if we're increasing your closing rate, you're massively putting more sales on. That's how we roll. Remembering it's just one ad into one piece of content. We're in the consultation sale right now. And then, percentage will join your signature program. And of course, we're building that client list. So what you're going to get, I'm going to take you through specifically why this is worth triple your investment for COA, why phone closing is so powerful today more than ever, what is the closer consultation process, and what are the beliefs to embody to make this happen, what this means for your future, and tasking to complete now. So why this is worth triple your investment, where it began. Okay, before I get into really, why it's worth triple your investment, because it's probably worth a lot more than that, let me tell you where it began. I had a dark past, maybe you know that, maybe you don't. I tried to end my life when I was younger. I was someone who was a client to begin with. I was my first ideal client avatar. I was helping young men with depression because I was someone that had depression when I was younger. My competition were qualified specialists, doctors of psychology, professors of psychology, and psychotherapists. I was just a young kid compared to them with no experience. I needed to find an advantage. And so I noticed that without a structure to get clients to buy from me, I was completely lost because I was erratic with my approach. Sometimes it would work, sometimes it wouldn't work. Over many years, I noticed if I didn't say certain things, they would not buy from me. And I lost a potential client. I would watch that client struggle and in most cases end up a lot worse than before. It made me very upset and incredibly angry. So I'd say to myself, why can't they see the pain already? Why are they so delusional of where they're at? How can they not realize how bad their situation is? And why would they not just buy my service when it's going to get rid of their problem? And I was just gobsmacked. However, all right, they were stuck in this kind of delusional point of life, which you'll find your clients too. So here was the turning point. I apologize if this story upsets you in any way. If you do not get rid of your client's pain, there is a knock-on effect. And I got this very, very clear early on. This changed how I looked at sales for life. I stopped worrying about whether I upset anyone or they didn't like what I said, because I have this story and I want to share it with you. I was prepared to do whatever it takes to serve them, and I hope it can help you too serve your clients. Back in the day, I used to work at a local gym and I was hustling clients up, and I would, hustle them to get into my session every single day. I'd walk around the gym, I would, open up conversations. And one day I'd had an immense amount of rejection. I really wasn't feeling good. And I remember this young 18-year-old boy. And he was working at the restaurant at the time, and I was sitting there and I was watching him, and I love people watching. I classify myself as a professional person watcher. And I was watching him, and I was like, he looks like he's having a tough day. And I thought about going over to him and helping him out and having a chat, with the intention of getting him into my service. And for whatever reason, I didn't, because I'd been so full of rejection. And I went off on my way. Anyway, it was a while till I actually went back to that gym. And 2 weeks had passed, I think, or roundabout. Anyway, as I went back and I'd had a better day, and I asked someone, like, where was that, where was the guy who was working in the restaurant? And they were like, did you not hear what happened? And I was like, I didn't hear what happened. And what had happened is that he was going through some really tough times with his girlfriend, got really upset, had gone home, sat outside on a bench, like outside in the garden, and took a gun and blown his head off. And I was like, just lost for words. Like that I'd been so close to someone that was in such a bad situation and I had not reached out. And look, the reason I tell you this is because your clients are always going through tough times. And if they don't jump into your service, they will buy someone else's service. Let me say that again. If they don't buy yours, they will buy someone else's. And so you got to get good at selling. And from that moment onwards, I said, never again. I'm going to sell everyone that I can, that I believe is aligned, because I know my service is great. I know that my service is world class. I know that my service is better than anyone else's out there. And so that's what I've continued to do. You never know what's going on with someone. If you can help them, it is your duty to do so. I made a promise to myself it would never happen again. I would do everything in my power to serve. I noticed if I didn't open up my clients' pain, they would not buy my program. If they did not buy my program, they spent the rest of their life getting worse. And that is the God's honest truth. If you do not open up your clients' pain, they will not buy, and they will go off on their own, more than likely never do anything about it. So I went to work. I became obsessed with understanding how people buy. I took every training in psychology, persuasion, influence, you name it. I invested hundreds of thousands of hours. A lot of old school tactics I learned I just didn't like. They were manipulation. I tested them and I got very poor results. They felt very inauthentic and not in line with my core values. And so I started formulating my own approach. I tested it live, day in, day out, and I refined it on the go. I went through my calls over and over again. I refined the process over and over again. I wrote out hundreds of variations of frameworks and language patterns. I tested them over and over again and kept on refining, kept on making it better. There were very specific distinctions that allowed my clients to close the door on their limitations. When their distinctions aligned, my clients closed the door and stepped into a new world. They bought without hesitation. Something magical was happening. My process went from being totally erratic to seamless and almost like reverse selling process. They actually closed themselves on my program without me having to push or manipulating anything, without me having to use old school manipulation at all. And so they would say things like, the moment we started talking, something changed. How did that happen? I never buy like that. This feels so right. It makes a lot of sense. It's like you read my mind. You really understand me like no one has ever done before. You really listened to me. For the first time, I knew that someone cared. We closed the deal and there was no going back. We closed the door to regression and opened up the door to progression. I noticed there were 8 key distinctions. All right, number 1, pain and problem. If they understood that I understood their pain and problem and understood that my new method for them would eradicate this, they would open to a new direction. Number 2, doubt. If I showed them the way that they thought was the most effective way was in fact the wrong way for them and why it was the wrong way, it aligned with their doubt, they would open up to a new direction. Number 3, cost of inaction. If they understood there was a cost of inaction, a cost for not moving forward, they would open up to a new direction. And number 4, desire. If they understood the desire they wanted was not possible with their current method, they would open up to a new direction. Number 5, money. If they understood that by investing their money into my program, following the new method to get the outcome would be a smarter choice, they would save money. Without the new method, it would not be possible. Then they would open to a new direction. Number 6, support. If they understood that there was the right support to guide them, that without the right support to guide them, they would not get the outcome, they would open to a new direction. Number 7, time. If they understood that if they didn't do this now, they would be wasting even more time in the future, they would open to a new direction. And number 8, trust. If all of their objections were answered before I talked about the investment, they would trust. They would buy when the investment was stated. So look, I called it reverse selling. My closer consultation process was born. The breakthrough was if all 8 were ticked off, they would buy. And so the pain problem is the number one driver. Remember, pain, the problem, is the main element that moves your client to purchase. Pleasure does not move your client to buy from you. Pleasure is achieved when they get away from the pain and problem. That's it. No pain, no problem, no sale. Forget about the sale, focus on the problem and get detailed about their problem. Bringing full awareness to their problem and the sale will happen on its own. Your client will never buy if they do not realize their problem pain will be solved through your program. So as a knock-on effect, I noticed my skills to coach people also transformed because they're intimately connected. You cannot coach someone without selling them. You cannot serve someone until you sell them. Coaching, sales are intimately connected. You can't serve until you can sell. So look, why is this worth triple your investment? Ed, why is this worth triple my investment? Why the closer process is worth triple your investment? As you master this skill, it will save your life and save your clients' lives. The closer consultation process will give you the skill to generate income at the click of your fingers. The closer consultation process will give you the skill to transform someone else's life. By understanding this, you will understand your client's pain better than they understand it. When you fully embody the closer consultation process, you'll be able to sell at price points according to your offer: 1,500, 2,800, 4,600, 10K, 20K, 50K, and beyond. It's that powerful. You name it, price is irrelevant over the phone, and this is the game changer. I've closed millions in sales with the closer process alone. I have a private investment-based business. I have personally closed in excess of 300 million to date. Collectively, my clients have closed in the millions plus today as well. More importantly, we have collectively changed the lives of thousands of clients. This will change your life too. So as a heads up, the closer consultation process was singly possible for us to win an 8-figure business award from ClickFunnels, which means we do 10 million over 10 million every single year. And it's mainly because of the closer consultation process. The Hilton Group were one of our clients who we helped also infrastructure a very specific closer process off the back of that. I've raised over 300 million of capital investment into our portfolio, and that's why it's going to change your life. So look, why consultation calls are the best for building trust. All right, why consultation calls are the best for building trust. The world of online creates distance rather than connection, because the majority hide behind screens. Apparently, according to the social media companies, they've made it easier than ever to socially connect, apparently. However, social media has proven to create more disconnect than ever. We, as a human race, are more disconnected than ever. And so trust is broken online because the majority think they should just pump out content. Trust is broken because the majority are just doing very generic marketing, so it doesn't land with anyone's problem. Trust is broken because they think social metrics are what people buy, which is not true. Trust is broken because the majority don't even really understand their client's problem. Trust is broken because the client doesn't feel understood. Trust is broken because most of your clients have bought before and been let down. Trust is broken because most start to think their outcome is just impossible for them. Trust is built by understanding their problem. Trust is built by getting great results. Trust is built by speaking to your clients so you know that they're actually real, right? Trust is built because you put the work in to understand them. Trust is built because you went through your calls and you got better. Trust is built because you went through these modules over and over again and got better. It is essential for you to get clarification of your offer. All right, your offer is validated through speaking to your clients. This is why consultation calls are the best for building trust. The more you do it, the more you understand your client. It makes it very easy to create an automated webinar later on, which is going to be your one piece of content that you can use over and over again. That sets up the sale for you. Speaking to your clients is the fastest way to create the real connections that people crave. This will stand you out quicker than your competition because most are scared of doing this today. Not you though, because I got you. Because you got me and you have my processes. Okay? They used to say it takes like 7 touch points for your clients to buy because the world is more overwhelmed than ever. It takes more touch points from someone to buy. The truth is, though, not all touch points are equal. A real person speaking to another person has been scientifically proven as the strongest and fastest way to build trust. This is why our main focus is to get our client on the phone with us as quickly as possible. You will in time need other people to do this for you, and you can scale efficiently and effectively. We can do this as part of the advanced sales training for you, so you don't have to figure it all out and have the problems of training others to do this for you. So what is the closer consultation process? This is a powerful structure that you follow, a framework that I've refined over years and years. Get good at this by just copying the structure. After hundreds of thousands of hours in a range of niches, I fully get the purchase process. After testing and trialing many ways, this is the quickest way to get potential clients to buy. This is my most up-to-date process. This is a step-by-step of exactly what to do and why, so you can authentically understand your client, so that you can authentically allow them to buy your program. So what this is not forcing anyone to do anything. This is not old school manipulation sales, and this is not just be passionate and they will buy from you. All right, what this is calm, clear, certain process to follow. By going through a process that uncovers all your clients' objections, they will feel understood and cared for, and thus they will buy. What is the closer consultation process? It's at first you may hate the structure. Right? Most initially hate structure because they want to be free flow. The problem with being free flow is that it's unpredictable. For many years, I've listened to people say, but Ed, I just speak to people and they buy. This is completely unscalable. It is very difficult to refine if you have no structure. You must start with structure, then become free flow with the structure. Without the right structure, you will fail. Just follow the structure, follow the framework. That's it. What most never realize is nothing is actually free flow at all. An artist looks like they are free flowing whilst they paint. However, underneath it is years of structured practice. What most realize is nothing is actually free flow. A musician looks like they're in free flow whilst they play. Underneath, it's years of structured practice, and they are always in a framework. Same with dancing. What most never realize is nothing is actually free flow. A dancer looks like they are in free flow whilst they dance. However, underneath it is years of structured practice with frameworks. And so martial arts becomes free flow after you've mastered the structure. Martial arts becomes free flow after you've mastered kata, which is fixed form movements. So you're going to stick to the structure in the consultation process because it will increase your ability to close. If you don't, you won't close. Empty your mind, be formless, shapeless, like water. Very famous Bruce Lee quote, right? But the problem is, he is formless, shapeless, like water, because he's got immense amounts of structure, so he's still in a framework. And so to get free flow, you must practice structure. You must practice doing repetition over and over. You must repeat the same structure over and over again until it's hardwired in your brain. So what are the best beliefs that enable a client to buy? Okay, so look, we know trust online is lost. Year on year, there are many more people online, which means buying resistance goes up. The market becomes more sophisticated year on year. Quality clients will buy if sophistication is high. The closer process is the most sophisticated way to build trust. We know we must build trust for our clients to buy. So we follow the closer process and they buy. There is one more element to trust though, And it's a psychology element that can be distilled into one key word. That word is certainty. Defined the quality of being reliably true. Okay, and so certainty, if you are more certain than they are, they will buy. Your client is desperate for certainty. Show up with certainty and they will buy. Certainty, if you are certain that you can get rid of their problem, your client will buy. So Ed, how do you create absolute certainty then? Well, so look, certainty is not some esoteric concept that some are born with. Certainty is not some false sense of faking it until you make it concept. Certainty is not something some can't attain. Everyone can. All right, certainty is trained. Certainty is possible for anyone and everyone if they do the work. And certainty is just an emotion which is structured by a belief system, and that is all. And so here are the certainty belief system to embody so that you can be 100% certain. All right, I put it in an acronym for you so it's easy to get. We're talking clarity, expert, repeat, trust, accelerated results, inaction cost, no forcing, tonality, and yes. Okay, so look, clarity. Show them a clear path method to get them their outcome. Expert, show them you're an expert on their problem by fully understanding their problem. Repeat back their words so that they get that you understand them. Mutual alignment with outcomes and values. Trust, right? That's what trust is. Mutual alignment with outcome and values. If not, find something better for them. A is for accelerated results. Show them how your path method will speed up their results. I, action. When your client is clear on the cost of not taking action, they will always buy. No forcing. Handle all objections ahead of schedule and they will close themselves. Tonality, certainty and trust is built with calm, collected, neutral, downward flexion. Not some sort of hype or all of this overhype, right? It's not like stage presenting. It's completely different. Become someone that gets yeses by following through on what you say yes to. All right, let's get deeper into this. Clarity. Show them a clearer path method to get them their outcome. Okay, they need a clearer path to get to their outcome. Your client is desperate for clarity. Your clearer method path that gets them to their outcome, you just need to be clearer than them. Clarity on why their old path didn't work for them. Clarity on why their problem is a problem. Clarity on why if they don't get rid of the problem, it will get worse. Clarity that your offer will collapse time for them and speeding up their process. Expert. All right, show them you're an expert on their problem by fully understanding their problem. You are the expert on that problem and you have the social proof that you know that problem. You're going to adopt what we call like a doctor consultation professional approach. You're a doctor diagnosing their problem, calm, collected, clear, with great questions that uncover their situation. Just like when you go to a doctor, they're not all hyped and ramped up. You wouldn't walk into a doctor's office and they're like, Drea, let's go, let's get going. No, they wouldn't be like that. They're professional. Focus on the problem and uncover that, and the sale will follow. Ask short, concise questions, background probing and chunking down. You prescribe a solution that is the right fit for them in a professional manner. Silence is golden. Use silence to make sure that they are being understood. Listen more than you talk. Use silence to make sure they fully clear out what they want to say and get the full picture. If you need to interject, let me pause you for a second. What I loved is, and state what you love. Sometimes they will be talking and they'll be talking so much, you're going to have to go, hold on, let me pause you for a second. What I loved about your passion there was this, this, and this, and then you can keep them focused on the questions. When you state the investment, summarize the ideal outcome, and then state the investment, and then silence, shut up. Let their brain do the thinking. And if it's beyond 20 seconds, say, hey, what are you thinking? If you receive a lot of no's, then you don't know their problem enough, and you must master their problem. Repeat back their words so that they get that you get and understand them. In today's world, people rarely get listened to. Your clients crave attention and to be understood because they're overwhelmed. Write down with a pen and paper their key statements. Repeating their language, using their language is critical to them knowing that they are understood. Repeating what they say allows them to also hear what they have said. It's not about you, it's about them. Even if you've heard it a million times, it's about hearing it, not you hearing it. To improve your closing rate quickly, repeat your calls straight after so that you go back through and you uncover any blind spots. To improve your ability to understand their problem, re-listen, repeat the call straight away. So that's why you're going to record your call so you can go through them straight away. At any time you want more clarity for yourself, just repeat this module over and over again. All right, trust, mutual alignment with the outcome and values. If not, find something better for them. Trust is broken because people are not listened to and are not cared for. Trust is not built because the client doesn't have their problem evaluated effectively. Trust is also about having a mutual alignment of outcome and values. Their outcome is being stopped by their problem. Focus on the problem that stops them getting that. Uncover this, and we know what solution will be best to get them to their outcome. Understand what is important to them so you can understand their values. Once you know what's important to them, then you can align with them. If you're not the best fit to help them get rid of the problem, then find someone else who is. Accelerated results. Show them how your path method will speed up their results. Once they understand that the problem stops them getting their outcome, once they understand they don't have a proven method to get them their outcome, once they understand they don't have a proven method path to get their outcome, once they know the outcome is not possible without a new path, once they understand that they've been trying to get to the outcome ineffectively on their own, your role is to show them that your method path is the quickest way to the outcome that they want. Your path method will collapse the time period that it will take them on their own. Your path method will take away the stress, uncertainty, and overwhelm that they're facing on their own. In action. When your client is clear on the cost of not taking action, they will always buy. Logically and emotionally, show your client that the cost of inaction costs more than your program. The cost of not doing something will drive your client into action. It is important that you really feel the cost of inaction, that they really feel it. It is important that you allow them to sit in the weight of their inaction cost. The human brain wants to cover this pain up. They will always try to laugh or avoid it. The pain will drive them to sorting out this problem. The most amount of value you can give to someone is by showing them this cost, then pointing them in the right direction for them so they can solve it. Price is evaluated on what they compare it to. We must control the comparison price frame always. No forcing. Handle all objections ahead of schedule and they will close themselves. When you handle all objections, then your client will close themselves on your offer. You don't need to force anyone to do anything. Keep in alignment with them. At the end, they may get scared and start saying things to get them out of the situation. When talking about money, most get scared and start saying things that do not make sense. Align with what they've said they want and help them make the right decisions to free them from their pain. There is no need to be pushy. However, be prepared to stand for them with authenticity. Serving is selling. You can't transform someone if you can't sell them. You serve them when you sell them by understanding their objections and helping them to the next step. Tonality, certainty and trust is built with calm, collected, reassuring and neutral downward flexion. There is no need to be hyped up. Being hyped up triggers non-buying. Be calm, collected, reassuring and reliable. Neutral, downward flexion builds consistency. If you ever heard someone from Australia, they bring everything up. Hey there, mate. Everything goes up. Versus neutral, downward flexion builds consistency. Be conscious when you ask questions to make them short, straight to the point. When you repeat back key statements to them, reply the word got it. Got it is a very powerful word. When they say, something and you say, okay, got it, it means it's ambiguous. Got it, understand you, versus I've got you, right? Got it is a very powerful for building certainty and trust. Avoid okay. Okay is a question statement. Okay? Question statement. Okay means like, I'm not really sure. They need to be heard and understood. They need to know that you have got them. Do not talk over your client. Let them fully finish their sentences. All right, the last one, yes, become someone that gets yeses by following through on what you say yes to. You are part of your offer too. You have to bought your offer. As your offer gets stronger, you get stronger. As you sell more clients on your offer becomes even more validated. It is natural to have doubts and worry about your offer. That is why you're here. I got you. Become someone that follows through on what you say you're going to do, and your clients will do the same. You attract the client that you are. Like attracts like. Write down a list of your ideal client traits and become those traits. Fast decision maker. Are you a fast decision maker? Because if you want your clients to be fast decision makers, then you have to become a fast decision maker. Are you a hard worker? Do you want your clients to be hard workers? Because if you're not a hard worker, you won't attract clients that are hard workers. Non-complainers and grateful. How non-complaining and grateful are you? Are you a high-ticket purchaser? As in, do you spend on high-ticket items? Because if you don't, then you won't get other people to buy yours either. Are you someone that gives great testimonials? Because you want clients that give you great testimonials. And so therefore you have to give great testimonials. So look, the core values of your clients are based on your core values. Fast decision maker, you're going to score yourself on 1 to 10. Are you a hard worker? Score yourself 1 to 10. And this is not judging you. This is improving your scores. You've got to improve your scores. That's just the way it goes. Like, are you a non-complainer and grateful? Score yourself 1 to 10. All right, high ticket purchaser, score yourself 1 to 10. Or are you someone that, I remember, this guy long time ago was like, came to the end of the offer and he was like, I'm tight. And I was like, it's just like a horror, like he's not a high ticket purchaser. And since then he's given up on his business because he's not someone that invests in himself. He's not someone that invests in, services and systems and structures. All right. You got to give great testimonials. You want a client who gives you great testimonials. Score yourself out of 1 to 10. Do you give great testimonials? Right. The universal law of reaction states this, right? Like attracts like. What you get is what you give. What you see in others is in you too. All right. Every action is met with an equal and opposite reaction. What you put in is what you get out. And so how you buy is how you sell. And how you sell is how you buy. Attract your ideal client by becoming your ideal client. You want great testimonials, then you have to give great testimonials. All right. So become someone who gets great testimonials. What I noticed is that those who struggle the most with getting testimonials didn't give anyone a great testimonial. They were stuck in fixed mindset and a job mindset, and they did not give freely to others. So they got nothing in return. They did not encourage others. They are self-focused. They wanted to give up without giving. They wanted to get without giving. Job thinking trains people to be takers rather than givers. When you work in a job for many years, you're just used to just taking, right? Because you're there taking. Having a business, being an entrepreneur is about giving. Those that start a business with that mindset realize they have to give more in to get in return. It's as simple as that. Having a business is giving beyond yourself all the time. Growing a business with a taker's mentality is impossible. To get, you must give. So look, no matter what you give, some will never give back to you. I remember running my events, and I used to do huge events. I did a whole event once just for testimonials, gave it completely away for free. Loads of people turned up. We had over 700 people, gave it away completely for free, 3 days, just so I could collect loads of testimonials. And there were still some people that would never give a testimonial. I mean, imagine that. You do three days of training for free, and you can't even give a testimonial at the end. I mean, what a selfish what? I mean, some people, you know what I mean? Like, no words, right? And so look, the thing is, day in, day out, Amazon perform. Don't be like the majority who are takers, right? Every time I buy something from Amazon, I leave a 5-star review because I know what it takes to build a business. I support many other entrepreneurs because, again, I know the importance of supporting others, and I'm for supporting others. And look, if you're for supporting others and you're going through this right now, then do me a favor, right? And break your beliefs, all right? Because here's some action steps. Become someone that is truly grateful for what others have done for you. As you become more successful, you will become more grateful of what others have built for you. Become someone that encourages others even when they got the result that you want. By doing this, it breaks any internal negative thinking patterns and it helps you attract what you want. Become someone that goes out of their way to give reviews for others to support them. By doing this, you practice focusing your mind on positive elements that you have actually got. You can choose to focus on the good or you can choose to focus on the bad. It's up to you. All right, here's the science though. There's a negative cycle, all right? Negative cycles build more negative cycles. It makes sense, right? So say you have a negative thought, you're focusing on the bad, all right? A negative action, you're complaining about something, and thus you create a negative belief, all right? What happens is more of the same thing. You create, because you had you're complaining about something, right? You bring more complaints back into your life and it keeps on going down. That's why it keeps on going down. How do you break the cycle or stop it from building? You can choose to focus on the good or you can choose to focus on the bad. It's up to you. So you have to choose to focus on the good, even though there may be bad stuff happening. So you break the cycle by giving, all right, and doing something different, focusing on the good. So when you create a positive thought, because you focused on something on the good, all right, and then you did a positive action like doing a testimonial, all right, so you're outputting something that happened, all right, a new positive belief occurs, and thus you do this. And that is why when you do action, what happens? You get results. And when you get results, you get rewarded. And that's why we do so many one-to-ones with you as many times as possible, so that you keep on creating a positive cycle. So you create on positive thought, positive action, positive belief, right? So you keep on building positive thoughts, positive action, positive beliefs. That's why I always say get in action, get results, get rewards. And that's why not only do you get the rewards from those results, we also reward you trophies, one-to-ones. And the whole thing is about making sure that you continually break the cycle by giving good stuff, positive stuff. In a world that is full of negativity, your mind is so driven to what's not working well, and we're here to make sure you focus on what's going well. You can choose to focus on the good or you can choose to focus on the bad. It's really up to you. And so look, you can break the cycle by giving a great testimonial. All right, I have poured my blood, sweat, tears, and years of my life into this program for you, so you don't have to go through the pain I went through to build my business. If you can appreciate that, record us a really quick positive testimonial, less than 2 minutes. Hold your phone on landscape on the side so it's easier to kind of watch, so it's not in portrait. It really does help in you getting results, first of all. It also benchmarks your performance and levels up, and it does really help others, and we do really appreciate it. And if you are someone that wants to help others, then promise you, if you're going through this now and you've had like up till now just an amazing experience, then please just shoot a quick 2 minute. This has been amazing. This has been amazing. This has been amazing. All right. Or do it now or after your first sale. All right. Whatever works well for you. I do really appreciate it. And, we want to help as many people as possible. And, it really does help when other people can see other people having a great experience. Hold your phone on landscape, send it in. I will be forever grateful. Our most successful clients always do this. All right. What I've noticed over the years is our most successful clients are the ones that have always filmed a testimonial and they've sent it in because it creates that conditioning within their own mind. It breaks any negativity. They focus on the good, all right, reinforces a positive belief. Thus they get more of the same thing. All right. We've got thousands of testimonials. All right, I want to keep on collecting it because I'm always about focusing on client results. But more importantly, it's about your client result. All right, it's about you getting that. And if you're someone that just focuses on the bad all the time, then let's do something good for a change. All right, let's do something that really makes a big difference. So send it in to ed@championacademy.co. Go ahead and do it. Honestly, 2 minutes. This has been amazing. This has been great. Fill it with like really good things that have happened, and it will fill your mind with good things that happened, and then more good stuff will happen. Okay, so look, certainty, belief system to embody, clarity, show them a clearer path method to get their outcome, expert. Show them you're an expert on their problem by fully understanding their problem in a professional doctor-like manner. Repeat back their words so they get that you understand them. Mutual alignment with outcome and values. If not, find something better for them. That's trust. Accelerated results. Show them how your path method will speed up their results. In action, when your client is clear on the cost of not taking action, they will always buy. No forcing. Handle all objections ahead of schedule and they will close themselves. Tonality. Certainty and trust is built with calm, collected, neutral downward flexion. Yes, become someone that gets yeses by following through on what you say yes to. Go do a testimonial, 2 minutes, send it in. We'll love you. Let's go get massive results. So what this means for your future, installing this psychology and way of thinking will set you free. Understand your client's problem and you will serve them at the highest level. The skill alone, right, will pay you a dividend every single year, year after year, year after year. Okay? Summary of what we got. Why this is worth triple your investment, the closer process. Why phone closing is so powerful today more than ever. What is the closer consultation process? What are the beliefs to embody to make this happen? What this means for your future, and tasking to complete now. All right, tasking to complete now. Write out the certainty belief system. All right, there it is, so that you can have a really clear understanding of where your belief structure comes from, certainty, and how you can rock up. It's not this fake it till you make it. You just practice these. All right, tasking number 2, judge yourself. All right, are you a fast decision maker? Because you got to become your ideal client. You want to be a fast decision maker, hard worker, non-complaining, grateful. That you want them to be a high ticket purchaser, and you want them to give you great testimonials. Right? So in order for them to be your ideal client, you must be these two. So fast decision maker, score yourself from 1 to 10. And if it's low, start making decisions quicker. All right. Are they a hard worker? Are you a hard worker? 1 to 10. If not, improve your work ethic. Okay. A non-complainer and grateful, score yourself 1 to 10. If not, improve on that score so you attract a better score. High ticket purchaser, be someone that starts to spend. I've taken my parents, my family on like $250,000, dollar kind of $250,000 experiences, pound experience, whatever you want to call it. But like, I'm a high ticket purchaser. I consistently spend on the best. I want to get the best. I want to get the best, consultancy team. I pay the best, right? It's all about paying high so that you can become someone that is high value, high standards. All right. You want someone that's going to give you great testimonials. Have you even given a testimonial? Have you even given a great one yourself? And you want someone else to give you one? You have to start with you. Okay. And then ask 5 other people to score you so you can assess that feedback, because you gave yourself a score. But then, maybe you ask your partner and they give you a fast decision-making score of like 2. And you're like, really? Hard-working score of like 2. Non-complainer and grateful. You're always complaining and you're ungrateful. Then you've got to do something about it. You've got to get better in these areas. High ticket, no, you're tight. You're Ebenezer Scrooge. You've got your wallet nailed under your bed and you've never used it. All right. Gives great testimonies. You never gave a testimony in your life. You've been unappreciative. You ungrateful piece of what? Right? So you got to get going. All right. Task number 3, break that cycle by giving a great testimonial, attract great testimonial. Give us one. All right. 2, landscape. Okay. Landscape. Send it into edjcsmith.co.uk. Pump it out. It's super easy to do, less than 2 minutes. We appreciate it. If you are someone that really wants to help people, it really does help other people as well. Don't be selfish. All right. As always, complete your tasking now. We're here for you every step of the way. We got your back. Go do that testimony now. Do it now. Bang your phone out. Do it 2 minutes. Ed, this is amazing. This was amazing. This was amazing. Focus on all those good things. All right. Get your beliefs, really, working on some good things that are happening for you right now. As always, no matter what happens, never give up on your dreams. My name's Ed JC Smith, and I cannot wait to see you on the next module. Let's go.